And this is the astrological forecast for the global forecast, basically, for May 2022, brought to you by the wonderful people at AskTheAnswer.com, the UK's leading website for tarot readers, psychics, mystics and channelers. This is a month that's going to change a lot of things. Now, I say that semi-regularly, but this month there's a lot of big changes going on up there in the heavens. And there's three really big things happening. So let's look at these. Firstly, there's a Mercury retrograde. Just what you didn't want to hear, I know. Mercury's going to go retrograde around the 10th of May, and then it's going to stay retrograde until very early June. It's not a big retrograde, in that it's not going to directly impact many of the larger planets in a challenging shape or form. Although when it stands still, it will be squaring Saturn for about a week. But it is going to directly impact on the lives of those people born around the 17th to the 26th of May, or the 18th to the 27th of November. And if you're one of these, then yeah, don't go making major spontaneous changes, of course. It's not a bad Mercury retrograde as Mercury retrogrades go, although I do expect the period around the 28th of May through to about the 4th of June to be a real stinker time. A lot of pressure and a lot of seemingly intractable situations developing at that time. In addition to this, we've got a total eclipse of the moon in Scorpio. The full moon in Scorpio on the 16th at 5:15 a.m. UK time will be totally eclipsed by the Earth. Now, we won't see it that much in the UK because it'll be dawn and you know, we might see a slight change of colour for those of us who live in a flat area where we can see the full moon because it will be setting around that time. But for those of you in America, either continent, north and south, you should see a spectacularly big eclipsed moon in Scorpio. Now this eclipsed moon in Scorpio will be trining Neptune and sextiling Pluto and strongly squaring Saturn. And it's in Scorpio. So my jury's out on this one. This could be the harbinger of something quite serious, actually. Especially when added to the third big thing that's going on. On the 10th of this month, Jupiter will leave Pisces and move into Aries. On the 24th of this month, Mars will leave Pisces and move into Aries. Now, we are heading into a Mars-Jupiter conjunction, which will be exact on the 29th of May, as well as getting close to a full moon. It's relatively close to the full moon. It's much closer to the new moon in Gemini on the 30th of May, which is actually not too bad on a new moon. But when you think that we got a Mercury retrograde preceded by a eclipsed full moon in Scorpio and then a Mars-Jupiter conjunction in Aries at the very start of Aries at the end of May, it suggests to me that as Mercury stands still and stops going retrograde in the last few days of May and the first couple of days of June, at the same time as Mars is conjunct Jupiter in early Aries, with the Mercury retrograde squaring Saturn, it could get well messy. It could be very difficult. And I expect a lot of intractable situations to be developing at that time. It's like the playground bullies, right? It's like the gang warfare stuff. There's always some nutter who wants to lead the gang, who doesn't really want to lead them, he just wants to be seen to be leading them, who's sort of at the front of the mob going, don't push me, don't push me. And it's going to be that type of situation. It's only going to take one match to light the tinderbox at the end of May, start of June. Now, this will only be for a 3 or 4 day period. But collectively, let's hold our breath at that time. It's a trigger point. It's perhaps the last serious, big trigger point of the year. And it's not anything individual, it's a combination of different factors. If you were for my client and it were one person and it was asking me to say, okay, what's May looking like? I'd say all change. And the end of May is going to be a direct test of our ability to manage situations without violence as opposed to sudden knee-jerk reactions. Catch you later, world. Bye.